They come from all corners of the world. Over 10,000 riders and volunteers united as one. One family.
The energy of the crowds, the energy of the volunteers, the support that you have along the way.
It's a camaraderie. There's a wonderful feeling.
One weekend.
To be able to do something for so many people.
One mission.
It is finally the time that I can give back to the people that helped me through my journey.
It is about curing cancer.
To bring us closer by the mile to a world without cancer. Together, they ride. For hope.
There's kids there, there's signs there, there's pictures of different people. It's just amazing.
For health.
Life expectancy and recovery for people with serious cancers is getting better all the time.
For humanity.
This is what love feels like.
This is WBZ's Pan Mass Challenge Everyday Heroes 2025 special.
Thank you for joining us as we celebrate the 46th Pan Mass Challenge weekend. 100% of every rider-raised dollar goes directly to cancer research and treatment at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute.
Last year, the PMC celebrated a major milestone. We crossed the $1 billion threshold in lifetime fundraising. And this year alone, we are working to raise an all-time high $76 million.
PMC riders and volunteers hail from 12 countries and 47 states and territories, many of whom participate in honor of a family member or a friend fighting the disease. And more than 1,100 riders and volunteers are cancer survivors or current patients themselves, considered living proof of the PMC mission. Plus, there are 160 Dana-Farber employees who ride or volunteer, in some cases to fund their own research.
Tonight, we honor them all, the riders, the donors, the volunteers, sponsors, doctors, and host communities. Everyone who is helping to pave the way for a future without cancer.
I decided to ride the PMC this year after I lost a childhood friend to pancreatic cancer in November.
I'm riding my 11th Pan Mass Challenge in honor of my mom and my brother.
I started to ride when my wife was diagnosed with a rare form of cervical cancer.
I ride for my mom and I ride for my wife, for both of them to know how much they mean to me and that I'm here to help fight anything that comes our way.
When you have a cancer diagnosis, whether it's you, your family, a coworker, hope is what gets you through it all. It's the most important thing.
Hope is really what the whole ride is about. Hope of better treatments. Hope is to cure cancer for sure. You really do feel like you're making a difference when you do this.
I wanted to ride in the PMC to take power back against an often disempowering disease. Cancer affects us all. We can all do something about it. Not all of us are doctors, but most of us can ride a bike.
What we love about it is that we're helping people directly. And this year, 3 of us are going to be riding for the first time together.
The riders are supporting the volunteers are supporting the riders. It's sometimes overwhelming just how supportive everybody is. It's a great feeling.
We're helping kids, we're helping research, we're helping Dana-Farber, the Jimmy Fund. It just feels really good.
It's just really important to me in knowing the impact that Dana-Farber and the PMC have in coming together.
More progress, more treatments, more advances, and more lives saved.
While it's a small amount of money that I raise, collectively, the impact that we have is just incredible.
Every single dollar raised goes directly to life-saving research.
I'm really excited to just be part of the solution and raising money to cure cancer.
To take on a monumental challenge like cancer, you need to do it in community with your family, friends, fundraisers, and especially the PMC community.
Our common goal is to cure cancer. Let's think of what we can do, not what we can't do.
Now to kick off this celebration of hope and resiliency, we want to bring in PMC founder Billy Starr, without whom none of this would be possible.
Good to be here, Lisa.
Let me ask you, Billy, we stood here a year ago. We talked about crossing the $1 billion fundraising threshold. We did it. How do you build off that momentum?
Well, first of all, cancer is still obviously with us. That's not lost on anybody. As further motivation, unfortunately, with the cuts from the NIH and this administration to cancer research, arguably contributions to the PMC and Dana-Farber are more important than ever. I'm fond of saying there's a lot riding on us.
Now, Billy, your first ride was way back in 1980. 46 years later, you're still going strong, as Lisa can attest, because the two of you went out for a ride together recently, and we learned a little bit more about what drives your passion for this work. Take a look.
Not many people who come up with an event like the PMC actually ride the event. I feel like they're watching it from afar or working logistics. What's it like to be running the event and riding it?
I think it's fair to say that when I'm on my bike, I am not running the event. I'm wired in for an emergency. Other than that, my job is to ride, meet people, thank people, and get to the finish line safely.
What's it like in those days right before the ride for you?
I drive myself crazy, and I'm not proud of it.
Even now?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what to say. I think there's something about control and truthfully in building out this event. 46 years, I had a vision for it. Most of it's come true, and yet you can't do this alone. And as you delegate to responsible people and they show leadership and responsibility, you let go.
You were just saying that that most of what you envisioned came to fruition. But I mean, when you're planning this out of your dad's garage, you're imagining a ride with thousands of people?
You know, I'm an athlete, I became a biker, I understood logistics, and I had the luxury of building it year after year. There were some years that had more exponential growth, but the truth was it really grew, it was 9 years before we ever had 1,000 people in the ride.
And now we have 6,000 plus.
6,000, right.
What is it like raising money in this really volatile economic climate?
Well, we can talk about the reason, or we can talk about what it's like to raise the money. For me, really, it doesn't change. You could make the case more than ever. More than ever, our PMC monies are needed. But currently, I'm told that no clinical trials have been stopped, and that the Dana-Farber community is substantial enough that we're weathering this for the time being. And our goal is realistic. I think, we make goals so often people take it for granted, but again, it's another Olympian height.
It's huge.
It's $76 million, so every year you empty the till and you're going for a world record.
Right.
And we're capable of it.
You cross the finish line in Provincetown. What's going through your mind?
When people ask me my favorite part of the PMC, I love coming out of the clouds in Sturbridge, I do. But probably my favorite is really that breathe easy in those last few miles in P-Town. Look, I know those roads. They are world-class beautiful. We have a world-class finish line, and it's the end of land, and the crowd that's there, and being with my gang who I ride with, it's fabulous. It's worth coming back 46 years for. So,
agreed.
Yeah.
Now, that day that we were out, we had pretty warm conditions for our ride together. But what about the weather for the ride this weekend?
We're gonna have to call in a favor to our chief meteorologist, Eric Fisher, who has a look at the forecast.
We know some years we want to go into hiding as forecasters with the forecast of the pan mass, but not this year. It couldn't be nicer. One of the best weekends of the whole summer. We start things off on Saturday morning, close to 60 degrees. We're going to warm into the 70s. A lot of sunshine out there, a bit of a northerly breeze expected. All routes are looking really good as we kick off the weekends. Nice comfortable air for heading into the start of August. Meanwhile, on Sunday, also looking good. Low 80s and low humidity. Just need some sunscreen, some hydration. You're going to be good to go.
All right, Eric Fisher, thank you. Well, the PMC offers riders 14 different 1- and 2-day routes covering 25 miles up to 186 miles, with the most popular routes being the 2-day rides from Sturbridge to Provincetown and from Wellesley to P-Town. But starting next year, the Sturbridge start will actually be moving to Worcester.
This is exciting. The new 100-mile course will take riders from the College of the Holy Cross to Bourne. The first 23 miles of the route will be new, and then it merges with the traditional Sturbridge route that riders like my friends and I know and love, with the same water stops, the same excitement on Cherry Street, all the pedal partner signs in Lakeville, and the very same day one finish at MMA in Bourne.
Now, if it sounds like Lisa knows this by the back of her hand, it's because she does. You're going to be riding in your 15th PMC this year. And I know you had the opportunity to speak to a 9/11 survivor and 2-time cancer survivor who's riding for the very first time.
With a trusty bike,
We got this, Rosa.
and the will to test herself while supporting Dana-Farber, Kathy Ball-Tonsick is riding her first PMC.
I love a great goal.
Over the years, fundraising through fitness has strengthened her friendships.
This is me, and this is my dear friend and forever running partner, Linda Ween.
And helped her process trauma. On 9/11, Kathy was on the ground floor of the North Tower when the first plane hit the World Trade Center.
Lights flickered a little bit. Okay, not sure what's happening here. And then boom, explosion, and it was crazy. One of the guys knew I was a runner and I wasn't moving quickly, probably because I was in shock.
A cloud of smoke continues to billow out.
I was wearing heels because we were all very dressed up, and he said, "Take your shoes off."
She ran barefoot over broken glass to get away, inhaling toxic dust from the explosion. Dust and debris now linked to numerous cancers. Kathy was treated for breast cancer in 2023.
I would lie on the radiation table and I would just think, take it away, take it away.
A year later, right around her birthday, she was cancer-free. And 2 weeks later, devastated to learn she had colorectal cancer.
I don't think anything prepares you for someone saying it's cancer twice.
This was a note I wrote to my radiation team.
After radiation and chemotherapy, she's again cancer-free and rebuilding her strength.
September 11th, 2 cancers, I will rise again.
Kathy's run 11 marathons for charity since 9/11, including Boston the year after the bombings. She ran for Dana-Farber before she was a patient. Still healing from the treatment, she can't run a marathon this year, but she can do a bike-a-thon.
So I said to both my physical therapist and Dr. Huffman, I can't run, but how about riding the PMC? And they both emphatically said yes.
She loves pushing herself.
Her son Henrik will volunteer at the PMC in Bourne and Provincetown.
She's a selfless leader, and she's courageously authentic.
What are you looking forward to? Besides the finish line?
Yes.
I think sometimes when I visualize it, it's, I'm going to call it a victory lap, even though I haven't done it yet.
But doing this may have felt like a warm-up. That's Kathy riding the warning track with other living proof riders, cancer survivors, on PMC night at Fenway.
I just looked up at all the people, and they were standing, and they were clapping, and they were cheering. And it felt like this is what support feels like. This is what love feels like.
A feeling she'll return when she's out on the road and beyond.
It's a way to celebrate all the people that have supported me. It's a way to celebrate my health. And it's a way to do whatever I can to make sure people don't have to go through this.
Now, like all of us on the night before the PMC, she has a few butterflies, but she knows that whatever she does in this ride really is a victory lap.
I think people think of the physicality of riding a bike that far, but the mental makeup of doing this ride and the backstories, just how tough these riders are, just like her.
She's an inspiration.
Pretty great. We're going to be right back with much more of our PMC Everyday Hero special. Well, thanks to PMC funding and your continued support, groundbreaking treatments at Dana-Farber are bringing patients and doctors closer to a world without cancer.
Doctors like Ben Ebert, president and CEO of Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, who is also a 7-year rider. Dr. Ebert, how important is PMC funding to research at Dana-Farber?
PMC touches everything we do. It touches our clinics, it touches all kinds of research from basic science to translational to clinical research. So it's really fundamental to almost everything we do.
How many rides is this for you?
This is my 7th ride.
How did you get into it in the first place?
You know, at Dana-Farber, it's difficult not to ride. Everybody's talking about it all the time, so I did it the first time, and everybody does it one time, is hooked. You get this feeling of community, this feeling of support for cancer patients. That community of support is so palpable and so rewarding to be part of.
How does that also play a role in what you do personally here at Dana-Farber?
It really makes what we do possible. Dana-Farber has a 50-50 mission. It is 50% research and 50% clinical. And that mix of 50-50 research and clinical care is what enables Dana-Farber to have such an outsized impact on cancer. Over 50% of all of the drugs FDA approved for cancer in the last 5 years were impacted very significantly by Dana-Farber, either the basic discoveries that led to those drugs or the pivotal clinical trials that led to FDA approval.
Safe to assume that it is more important than ever this year?
I would say it's absolutely more important than ever. Our research funding has been threatened as never before, and we are continuing to do everything we do. We are doing everything we possibly can not to decrease any of the life-changing research that we're doing, but it is essential to have the support of the PMC to continue our mission.
How do you feel when you ride your bike over that line in P-Town?
It is really fun. Actually, last year was the first time I did the 2-day PMC,
awesome.
and I think the part of the value of the PMC is that physical effort somehow connects to the journey of the patient with cancer, to the journey of discovery, all of the challenges faced by researchers and clinicians in treating cancer, all of the challenges, physical and psychological, that our patients face. And we connect to that over those 2 days a little bit in riding the PMC.
Awesome. Well, I wish you a safe, terrific ride.
Thank you, and thank you for riding.
Absolutely.
The PMC is Dana-Farber's single largest supporter, and last year, we riders, donors, sponsors, and volunteers raised $75 million, and it's 66% of the Jimmy Fund's annual revenue.
Now, to give you a better idea of how those funds are distributed, out of that $75 million raised last year alone, more than $19 million was allocated for research in pediatric oncology.
So what is the collective power of thousands of PMC riders and volunteers and hundreds of thousands of individual donations? Well, here's a look at the true impact of the PMC.
The day I found out my son Zachary's diagnosis was actually Friday the 13th in March of 2020. We immediately transferred care to Boston, and that's how we became affiliated with Dana-Farber. We met Dr. Allison O'Neill, and she was great. We loved her right from the start. My son Zach, he was 16 years old, was an elite athlete, and out of the blue, Zach had a little lump on the back of his neck, and unfortunately, basically 9 months later, he passed from that. Dr. Allison O'Neill, she attended my son's service when he passed, and she asked me if I would consider being part of her team. I ended up doing it. When my son was going through his fight, bracelets were created with his name, and to this day I still have 2 of those bracelets on my bike. At any point the ride becomes challenging, I reach out, touch those bracelets, feel a sense of my son with me, and get through it.
The PMC touches every single aspect of the patient care journey from start to finish, including investing in novel therapies in the future of cancer care. Money from the PMC can support novel concepts, can bring us to the point where we can actually then apply for larger grants or larger support or funding, either from foundations or the government. If we don't have the support to that point, nothing gets off the ground. Because of the PMC funding, for many, many years, we've now achieved 2 grants, and our goal is really to bring immunotherapy as an actual reality to pediatric patients, whereas in the past it hasn't worked in the way we'd hoped.
We weren't able to help my son, and hopefully our efforts will benefit somebody else down the road.
So when Maddie was first diagnosed, it was really a mix of shock, some fear. Maddie's oncologist, Dr. Allie, her support was just incredible. Riding along Matt at PMC is an amazing feeling of gratitude and being thankful for the fact that we have been the recipient of such incredible care at Dana-Farber that we can get out there and do this type of ride together.
I'm so proud to be a part of Team Perspective and, riding with Dr. Allie and my dad and
I'm grateful to be able to give back to, a community and a place that's given me so much. Giving back to the people that helped my brother when he had cancer, something that I've waited for a long time.
Closer by the mile, it's just one day at a time, and hopefully you'll conquer it at the end.
I don't know if you recognize just how much you contribute to our mission. You're bringing new therapies to patients and their families, and you're supporting next steps to a cure. Your impact is unbelievable, and I hope you all know that we are so appreciative of what you do.
Welcome back, everybody. When you have more than 6,000 riders logging miles on 14 routes over a weekend, you have a lot of mouths to feed. And trust me, we are very well fed.
You're burning a lot of calories out there. Check out some of the numbers from PMC Weekend and some of the food they go through thanks to the overwhelming generosity of in-kind donations. More than 12,000 bananas, 10,000 energy bars, 1,600 gallons of water, 1,500 pounds of peanut butter, 12,000 cookies, and I think my favorite stat, 600 pounds of hummus. No baba ganoush?
No baba ganoush, no.
Okay.
And I personally go for the cookies and the peanut butter
Definitely.
fluff. Now, no matter who you are, the PMC has got your cravings covered. And for serious athletes and people burning a lot of calories, that matters.
And speaking of athletes, former Red Sox pitcher Mike Timlin will be riding in his first PMC this year with his wife Dawn and Trot Nixon's wife Catherine.
Mike Timlin's journey to the PMC started with a call from Catherine Nixon, his former teammate Trot Nixon's wife.
She was immediately on board, and the next thing I knew, Mike was on board too, so it was just so exciting.
She probably didn't even finish the sentence.
And all she had to say was, let's ride for Tim and Stacy.
And I'm like, yeah, for Tim, I'll do that.
Tim Wakefield was Mike's best friend on the Red Sox, a beloved knuckleballer and Team Jimmy Fund captain who died of brain cancer in 2023.
When the diagnosis came out for him, it was just, it was scary. It was heartbreaking. Just to have so much that you can't do to help him.
The Timlins will ride in memory of Tim and Stacy Wakefield, who died of pancreatic cancer. For Dawn, 2025 marks a tribute and a reunion. She rode for the Red Sox Foundation's Team 9 while Mike was playing baseball, and now she gets to share it.
I can't wait. I'm proud of him because it's hard. It's not just a little jaunt through the park.
Only be proud if I finish.
You will
You don't have an option.
There's no option. I can't walk home.
These days, home is Colorado, where they've been training and anticipating the PMC's emotional and physical challenge.
We're going to have sore spots. We're going to have, it's going to be painful. But, I mean, look what he went through.
I'm anxious for him to see every stop. Because every stop, there's kids there, there's signs there, there's pictures of different people.
I am excited to see all the kids that we're doing this for, all the pedal partners.
Pedal partners like 10-year-old Johnny Morris of Newton, diagnosed with stage 4 high-risk brain cancer as a baby.
It's been a long haul. He's had 4 relapses.
Emergency brain surgery and more than 50 rounds of chemo and radiation.
We've been all over the country, but Dana-Farber has always been our home.
Thanks to that hometown team and Johnny's strength, John and Colleen say their son is in his longest stretch of good health ever.
He's the Morris Miracle, what they call him at the Jimmy Fund, and we feel the same way, and it's just amazing that we've had such love and support from Team 9 and the Red Sox.
We have a lot of great pictures of him at the ball field, down on the field with his buddies from the Jimmy Fund. It's great. It really makes for some great times.
It makes Johnny so happy, and it honestly makes me even happier to see him so happy and doing so well.
We feel honored to ride for him.
Debbie and Bob First are 2 of Johnny's biggest fans and Team 9 All-Stars. At 80, Bob is this year's oldest PMCer, a living proof rider who beat prostate cancer twice.
I've been told my cancer is in a deep sleep, and I'm doing everything I can to keep it very, very sleepy.
Debbie's also a living proof rider. Dana-Farber doctors treated her for ovarian cancer in 1977. This is her 31st PMC.
It's an honor to be able to keep going. I feel so strongly that biking empowers you, and to be able to do something for so many people.
20 years ago, it was Debbie and Bob who recruited Dawn and Catherine to ride. Teammates now back together with a new addition.
It's hard to believe that you get a chance to walk on that field and play.
A champion who's ready for his next challenge in a Sox jersey, and a family of riders with one goal.
To raise money to kill cancer, to knock it out, to defy cancer. And it's going to happen.
And they will be among the more than 1,000 Living Proof riders taking part in this year's PMC. The Living Proof community is made up of riders and volunteers who have been treated for cancer, and they are living proof of the PMC's mission that progress in battling cancer starts with funding research.
WBZ's Samantha Cheney spoke to one of those Living Proof riders who was first diagnosed back in 2015.
For the past 3 years, PJ Branco has been riding with a purpose in the Pan Mass Challenge.
So this year I'm required to raise at least $6,000. My goal for this year is $10,000.
He first got involved with the event, which raises money for cancer research at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute after the disease hit close to home.
My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2005, and then a few years later when I was in college, my dad was diagnosed with colon cancer.
But in 2015, the fight became personal. At just 26 years old, PJ was diagnosed with testicular cancer.
When you hear the word cancer, it hurts.
He says the pain was more than just physical.
Spiritually, emotionally, mentally.
10 years later, PJ is riding to support others who face the same battle.
PJ will be riding a total of 186 miles. And while that may seem like a lot to some, for him, it's just a small way of saying thank you.
I finally feel like I can give back to the people that helped me so much and helped my family so much through our journeys.
Both PJ and his mother received their treatment at Dana-Farber, an experience he says he'll never forget.
Everyone there just makes you feel like it's just you and you're not part of this massive hospital.
And though he says words can't fully express his appreciation,
when you're diagnosed with cancer, oftentimes people immediately go to, I'm going to die. That's not the case anymore.
He hopes his efforts through the Pan Mass Challenge will serve as a symbol of hope.
And honestly, if that touches one person, then I've achieved the mission that I'm setting out for.
In Easton, Samantha Cheney, WBZ News.
And we want to thank PMC founder Billy Starr for everything you do. You do so much every single year. What's your message to the riders and the people at home?
To the riders, you've earned it. Have fun. Remember to hydrate, be safe. And to our watching audience, please donate.
Thank you, Billy. And thank you for being with us for WBZ's Pan Mass Challenge Everyday Heroes Special.
Good luck to both of you and everyone at home. WBZ so proud to be partnering with the PMC. And remember, as Billy mentioned, there is still time to donate. Please visit pmc.org.